a wave for
What?
everyone watching live and checking in later on YouTube. A hello for all the podcast listeners. Thank you very much for choosing to spend some of your time with us here at the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. My name is Rod Morgan. I will serve as the host, the executive producer of this and every podcast here on the network, the man that quite frankly makes it able for you to be able to watch it on YouTube or listen. Make sure you give us a like, a subscribe, 5 stars, a comment, whatever. All those things help us out. Isn't that right, Jimmy Jam?
Yes, and I'm so glad Chris was able to come here. All kidding aside, I really am glad to see you, Chris. It's a big show this week, especially since we got to talk about Cowboys coaches. Can't wait, Chris.
We certainly do. And the Chris Jimmy is speaking of is our friend. He took a week off last week. He literally was getting into the Zoom room here as we were recording. That's how much time he needed off for pressing matters, getting the oxen together, fixing the outhouse, things of that nature. Take some time as the cold is approaching.
I mean, I've been away for a minute, fella, so I'm excited. I mean, we got the Commandos and the Bills, right? That's who we got in the big game?
That's right, the Commandos and the Bills. You were on it, my friend. Talking football, making us smart, our handicapper, the man that knows where to find all the numbers. He knows where to make all the plays, except for wrestling plays, but we'll leave that for another time. It's our football handicapper. He's our good friend. He's Josh Williams. Josh, hello.
What's up, boys? And I promise that I'm not making this up. Considering how bad I did on the against the spread picks in the regular season, I entered a playoff challenge against the spread pool with 864 people. I'm tied for second right now. Of course, because I'm not making the picks, the official picks, the playoff picks on the pod. How about that, Jimmy?
Oh, it doesn't surprise me at all that you would definitely have all your good picks on the things that we don't have recorded down. So thanks. Great job.
You know what, though, Jim? I've decided new year, right? Time to have a positive outlook, right? I think what we're doing for Williams, we're providing a service. We're at least providing a service for Williams, right? We are allowing him to come onto this show that literally dozens of people listen to, right? And he's getting his thoughts out. Dozens is popular, I know, but let me have that, Jim. Let people listen to. And he gets these thoughts out in the air, and that gets mojo out, right? And then the actual plays that he makes that he doesn't release for people truly do win him money. So I guess we are doing one thing good, Jim. We can rest our hats on that.
And, the literal thousands of people on TikTok really appreciate Williams' takes. They're all very kind to him and think he should still be alive. So really appreciate that.
Just like all social media commenters, just level-headed, good,
level-headed. They love
intelligent discussion when it comes to social media views and commentary. We will do our best to provide you some entertainment in that space here. We'll talk a little bit about the games from last week. We won't talk much about the Super Bowl, frankly, because we still have time to chop that up. Then Jimmy and Chris and I will talk a little bit of NBA, but it's a huge wrestling week, Jimmy, the Royal Rumble. That's what people should be probably most excited to tune into the network this week. 2 gentlemen like you and I and Chris, I suppose he's a gentleman as well. We're supposed to be able to tell people what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble, correct?
Yes, for sure. I thought you were talking to Chris on that one. Sorry.
No,
yes.
I'm saying you, all of us. I'll go to Chris in a second, but we're supposed to be able to explain to people what happens, right? All it takes to be able to figure out the WWE is to just watch, and then you, too, could predict it, right? It's that easy. We never say anything wrong, do we, Jimmy?
No, it's really easy to predict what's going to happen, especially on the Royal Rumble days.
Yeah. Chris, how excited are you for the Royal Rumble? Are you more excited for the Royal Rumble talk that we're going to do, or are you just more excited to come back and get off some football takes about the conference championships?
I am a fan, so why wouldn't I be excited for the Rumble in Indianapolis? And this will be my first official live in-person WWE event ever.
Let's go.
Ever?
Let's go.
Oh,
Let's
dude,
go.
This is amazing for you. It's 4 matches. It's okay, but it's amazing, dude. Let's go.
We will get more into that at the wrestling show at the end. Let's start with our guy, Chris. Chris, your take on the championship games last week. Did they end up the way you thought? Or if you'd have been on last week, were you going to try to sell us that the Bills were going to beat
I
the
definitely
Chiefs?
would have been trying to sell the Bills over the Chiefs. Definitely. I mean, I get it. I guess it ended in the way that most people predicted, but I get upset. And I feel for Bills fans, all right? You have a franchise that has lost 4 Super Bowls in a row, lost all-time great football players to their antics off the field, lost all kinds of championship opportunities to a Mr. Patrick Mahomes. So, you got to root for them in these situations, right? And it's a sad, sad time for Bills fans and those of us who root for the underdogs.
Jimmy Jam, let me go to you on this because I like what Chris just said right there, right? That he says most people should be rooting for the Bills against the Chiefs. I find myself not being that person. And the only thing I can relate that back to is the Chicago Bulls days, right? And so I guess try to put, I know you were a Bulls fan like me during that time, Jimmy. Try to put yourself in the shoes of, say, the Knicks or the Pacers or the Cavs, right? Do you find yourself being on that side now with the Chiefs, or do you find yourself still being like me and just admiring the greatness?
I like to admire the greatness, but I also like to admire Chris King, you're back. I like to admire the conspiracy theories. I was right 2 weeks ago. I was definitely right last week, and I will be right again during the Super Bowl, but that's a teaser for next week.
Look out. Williams, I'm going to come to you on this same thing because I want to stay on this topic for a second here. We don't have to chop up any handicapping for this week, right? I want to dive into this. Why are the Chiefs so hated? So, Williams, do you come down on the side of I want to see the Chiefs dynasty be toppled, or do you come down on the side with me like, hey, this is the Bulls, this is Michael Jordan, this is cool. Let's have these guys keep winning?
Well, I'm kind of partial because it depends on where I have the money at. So, I didn't really have a dog in the fight in this game. I understand the people that were up in arms about the fourth down play, where it was spotted at, and where is it time to put a microchip in the ball is all I'm saying, because you can land on either way. And I thought maybe the more egregious call was the Xavier Worthy catch, the simultaneous catch. It didn't look like it was an actual catch in real time. And then
is that the one he dropped? That's the one he dropped, right? Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, turned over, the ball hit the ground. So I was like, I don't know. So I'm probably not the right person to ask on this. I love the greatness of Mahomes. I have some crazy Mahomes stats we can get to later, but I'm with Chris where I feel for the Bills fans, because not only do I feel for the Bills fans, I feel for the Ravens fans also, because Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have to deal with basically Michael Jordan the rest of their career. I mean, they're in the same time frame, and you can throw Joe Burrow in there. Joe Burrow clipped him once, and will he get back there? I don't know. And so I kind of hate that all these good quarterbacks are in the AFC. I mean, I like it as a Bears fan because I'm in the NFC, but it's brutal for your Colts too, because at some point when the Colts get good, they're gonna have to go up against these guys.
Listen, I'm not gonna hold my breath for that. All right, I'm old enough now to know that I think the Colts were propped up by Bill Polian in number 18, and I think as long as Mr. Irsay is pulling the trigger for the Colts, we're just gonna kind of be what we are, a middling franchise. But we're not gonna talk about the Colts. We're gonna leave that for another time. Chris, let me go to you with this very pointed question, because you, my friend, tend to answer my questions directly, and I appreciate that out of you. Chris, do you believe that the Chiefs won this game, or do you believe that the Bills lost this game?
No, I'm going to say the Chiefs won this game just because they did. I do think you can point to times that the Bills probably did shoot themselves in the foot a little bit, but I'm sorry. Patrick Mahomes keeps proving people like me wrong, the doubters, right? The people who want to see him fail, and he just doesn't for some reason, and it's frustrating, and it makes me mad. But no, I think you got to say the Chiefs won.
Jimmy, let me go to you on this then. I want to continue on this thread this way. So Chris said he thinks the Chiefs won, but he did say a couple of things maybe didn't go the Bills' way. You have hinted at a bit of a conspiracy. So, Jimmy, point to a couple of the things that didn't go the Bills' way that you think help further your argument of there is a conspiracy to continue the Chiefs' winning ways.
As a true conspiracy theorist, I don't have anything to back up my claims. I just think that when it gets the Bills, listen, those plays were, you can see when they got the first downs. They did. I don't understand how you can't see that. Some of these phantom hits on Mahomes are just ridiculous that you can see very easily on a replay. So I really, it just gets to the point where there's too many coincidences here, and I know they just want Mahomes in the Super Bowl. They want him to win. That's what's going to happen. Just give him the ring now.
Williams, you're our football handicapper here. Let me come to you on this question. I think this is I've learned over the years of ways I can come to you with questions, and I might be able to get an answer. All right. Do you think that all of these plays we analyze with the Chiefs are actually breaking their way because the officials are wanting it to be that way? Or is it that there's a lot of plays like these plays that occur in games throughout the regular season of the NFL, but those games just aren't in the spotlight the way the Chiefs always are in the standalone Black Friday game or the Thursday night game or the Monday night game or the late in the playoff run, right? Isn't it possible that we just see these plays for the Chiefs in these ultra spotlights and that these kind of plays occur throughout many other games? You're our handicapper. You should have an answer on that, right?
There's something there to that. Yeah, we see them more. We see the Chiefs and the Ravens and the Eagles more because those are good teams. And so there's probably something to that. Obviously it's not rigged. But it is it is questionable how many calls they do get. And it's just it'll even out. I assume eventually, but who knows when that will be.
Okay, here we go. This is the last thing I want to do then on the Chiefs, right? What I love the most about the Chiefs is the Chiefs have achieved true procedural greatness, okay? And what I mean by that is there are certain TV shows that reach a level where they are ultra mega successful, right? But you are going to find people that absolutely love that TV show, and you are going to find people that absolutely hate that TV show, right? But what that TV show at its core is going to do is take you right to the edge of disaster at all time. Oh my goodness, what are Joey and Chandler going to do this time? Will they be able to make up with everybody by the end of the episode? And bam, magically, right before the credits are going to roll, everybody is friends again on Friends, right? Or you're watching The Big Bang Theory on CBS, and Leonard has done something, and Penny's mad at him. And will Leonard be able to get Penny back on his good side by the end of the episode? And then, bam, minutes before the credits roll, everything is fine in the Big Bang universe again. So, Jimmy, I say to you, are the Chiefs essentially like Friends, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Full House, Big Bang Theory, all of these great sitcoms where calamity, disaster looks like it's going to ensue, but we're back to normal, we're reset, everything's fine, and we move on?
Yeah, they are. And I think to kind of piggyback on your earlier question, they're kind of getting like The Office right now.
Okay.
Office, an amazing television show, but then kind of got really old at the end. You know, it had Steve Carell left.
So we've done these jokes 6 different times over now.
Yeah, and people got a little tired at the very end, even Office fanatics, like myself. You know, it's like, okay, this is getting a little old right now. I think we're at that point with the Chiefs where everything is just getting a little old. We've seen the same stuff over and over again. Yes, with 8 seconds left, the Chiefs are down 2 touchdowns. We know they're going to score 2 touchdowns, and they're going to win the game with no time. That's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. So we want a little something different, I think, Rod.
All right, Chris, I'm going to come to you. So I gave you Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Big Bang Theory, Full House, Friends. Jimmy gave you Office. What are the Chiefs?
I would say Friends for me because it's apparently critically acclaimed, but I don't enjoy it.
Nice. Look at you. I love it. Williams, I know you're a big TV guy. You do well with these questions sometimes. What are the Chiefs like? What TV show are the Chiefs like?
Oh, man. I wasn't even thinking about this answer because I was going through with some Mahomes stats.
We got plenty of time to do Mahomes stats. He's still going to play in the Super Bowl.
No, these are awesome stats, though. These are awesome stats.
All right, Williams, give your stats. Continue the tradition of you not answering
do
my
it
question.
anyway.
Yeah,
It
I was going to
doesn't really
say,
matter.
just continue the tradition. People come here for one thing and one thing only. They know what we do. Bring it to them.
Okay, in his career, Mahomes has played 26 road or neutral site games where he's been either a dog or a favorite of 3 points or less. His ATS record in those games, 21-4-1. Unreal. When Mahomes has faced a pass defense in November or later that has given up less than 200 yards passing per game, his record in those games is 12-0. Unreal. Since 2018 in the fourth quarter OT, when Mahomes has been down by one possession, so between 1 and 8 points, he's had 12 drives in those instances. The Chiefs have scored on 11 of them. Unreal. As for full NFL teams on that list, like full NFL teams, not even breaking down the quarterbacks, the Rams are second on that list, 5 of 13. The Bills are third on that list, 4 of 10. Pats are 2 of 5. Eagles are 2 of 9. He's got more playoff wins than Joe Montana, and he's only 29, second all time. And last thing, remember this, 2 years ago in the second half.
Wait a minute, that's not fair to Joe. Joe had far fewer playoff rounds to deal with. Mahomes has all these extra games thrown in there. That's not fair to Joe.
Yeah, but Joe played till he was like, what, 36?
I'm just trying to stick up for Montana. I'm in South Bend just like you are, Williams, all right? I'm trying to keep us safe from the people around us.
I love Joe. I love Montana. Last thing here, remember this, 2 years ago in the second half of this Super Bowl versus the Eagles, Mahomes was 13 for 14 with 2 touchdowns. Is that good? Adjusted completion percentage was 100%. They were down by 10 at the half. He had 15 first downs in that second half. Unbelievable. This guy is Michael Jordan, and I hate to compare anybody to Mike because he's the best of all time, but this guy is unbelievable.
He's definitely is. You know what I was thinking you could have done there, Williams? You could have tied it all together if after you gave the Mahomes stats there, you could have given it an old cut it out, right? You would have just tied it all together right there if you would have given it an old cut it out right there after the Mahomes stats. Let's move away from the Chiefs. We got plenty of time to talk about the Eagles. Saquon Barkley has put up a miraculous year the way that we're talking about the superlatives with Patrick Mahomes, but there's some other football news we need to get to. We have a Dallas Cowboys fan here. And Chris, I'm going to start with you this way. Let's start positive, all right? Sell us on your new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer.
I mean, you want to talk about coaching pedigree. Is there a better pedigree out there than the Schottenheimer name?
Okay. All right. Good. That's a good first salvo. Anything else?
Listen, this is a franchise, Rod, that is going to go out and try to win every single year. We're not like these other also-rans who want to tank and try to get first pick overall, like some teams up north of where we live. So, no, like it's exciting, right? We have a new coach. We have still a talented squad. There's no denying that there is talent on the roster in Dallas. So it can't be anything but better than this past year if we can stay healthy.
Okay, so you're selling us of Brian Schottenheimer is his dad was a good coach once. The Cowboys want to win, and they have good players. So the last two weren't necessarily even good traits about the coach. So that's the argument you're going to give us for selling your new head coach.
Belichick. I didn't want a Dion.
But
you guys kept on trying to scare me to death all season long about that possibility. So, I didn't want those, right? I did want a Ben Johnson.
And let's also clarify, Coach Prime didn't want you because through all reports, Jerry called him and
that's
offered
fine
it to him.
because I didn't want him. All right, but I don't make those decisions. But we also pretty much knew that it was going to be somebody that. Yeah.
Okay, you're a Stone Cold Cowboys fan. Fine, let's move on from this. Let me ask you this. One last question, okay? Does it make you the slight bit nervous that your hired head coach was interviewed by 0 other football teams?
No, I don't really care about that. Doesn't bother me.
Okay. All right, that's a fair answer. Okay, Jimmy Williams, I'm going to come to you guys on this because I think you guys have a little bit of experience here, and I'm going to bring up a name that I don't think either of you want to bring up. I'm going to bring up a time that I don't think you want to think about. But your Chicago Bears did something similar to this. Now, this man that the Bears brought in was not in their organization the way Schottenheimer is right now, so I'll at least give Dallas that they are just keeping with the status quo somewhat by just promoting their offensive coordinator, even though their offensive coordinator didn't call plays. We'll leave that aside. But Jimmy, your Bears a few years back hired Mark Trestman, a man who wasn't necessarily on anybody else's radar at that time. He had a bit of an NFL resume, but it was looked at as like, what are the Bears doing? And I listened to ESPN 1000 at the time before Trestman came in. And good old Mark Silverman literally read Mark Trestman's autobiography and every day gave a lesson about Mark Trestman. The Bears fans tried so hard to love and say that this guy was going to be a great coach, Jimmy. How did it work out?
Yeah, not so well. Not so well at all. I think Schottenheimer has a lot more NFL experience than Trestman did. Trestman was a world champion, though, of Canada. Thank you, which is why we brought him in.
He was quick to tell Chicago media that many times as well. He was quick to bring up his championship experience in Canada.
It's really, it's all we had. But Chris, I am sorry, and I apologize for this, and I apologize to all Cowboys fans. I'm all in on Dallas next year. I think I'm going the other way. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win the division. Sorry, Chris. I legitimately. I just went the entire opposite way. The Cowboys are my Browns.
People are going to be breaking their legs. That's bad
news. I was going to say, Chris, you can't love that. Williams, you are our football handicapper here. I gave you Mark Trestman. Jimmy said maybe. Chris gave you a huge, rousing, great resume read of Schottenheimer in that he has a great last name and the Cowboys roster is okay. What say you, our football handicapper?
Yeah, I don't know. The best thing I can say about Brian Schottenheimer is we thought he was the one that was behind all the early down rush rate in Seattle those last couple of years. It wasn't him. It was Pete Carroll. It was Pete Carroll who was overruling him. So
the Cowboys should rather have. You'd rather have Pete Carroll than Brian Schottenheimer, Chris.
Oh man. I don't know. I just I know Chris doesn't like Kellen Moore, but why don't you just be patient and hire Kellen Moore? It looks like that's what the Saints are going to do.
Why would
the Saints haven't hired
want
anybody,
somebody who didn't run a productive offense when they were here?
That's questionable. I think from what I've seen in the history of Kellen Moore versus Brian Schottenheimer, I would choose Kellen Moore, but I could be wrong. I mean,
you are
Brian Schottenheimer. I don't know. It doesn't move the needle for me. So
listen to the Morganito podcast for our football handicapper, Josh Williams. Hey, I could be wrong. That's a commercial right there, Jimmy. Run that one on the TikTok.
Mark that right there and got it. Okay.
All right, Williams, we've got a lot of time to talk about the game, but I know you have a few other things cooked up for the people. Give us a few other cool stats you got as we're rounding towards the Super Bowl and coming out of the conference championship game.
Yeah, so Philly set a record for how many points a team scored in a conference championship game last week with 55. The two previous high scores in conference championship history, the 2015 Panthers and the 1990 Bills, both lost their Super Bowls. Matter of fact, teams that had dominant offensive performances of over 40 points scored in their conference championship games are only 3-7 in their Super Bowls.
Ooh, those are the old dominant K-Gun Kelly Bills, right? We got some Andre Reed, we got some Thurman Thomas, some old Jim Kelly. Those teams used to beat the tar out of the Colts.
Yeah, and the other thing here, and I don't know if you guys were watching that Washington-Philly game intensely or not, but they had what could have been a flag called for a palpably unfair act because
that was insane.
The Washington Commanders. Yeah, the Washington Commanders. Luvu was jumping over the line, and Hockley gave him one more time with this behavior, and I can award a touchdown.
Yeah, Hockley was basically like your dad when you have a sleepover with all your buddies coming over to the house, and you guys are downstairs, and he's like, "Hey, stop wrestling." The first time he just yells it from the top of the stairs, right? And you're like, yeah, whatever. And you just keep wrestling. Then the next thing you know, somebody catches an elbow to the face. And then dad comes down. He's like, hey, I told you, if you guys mess around one more time, I'm literally yanking all of you out of here. And that's what they said. It was incredible.
Correct. And Pereira was all over this. And this act was officially went into the rule book in 1942. They could have called this rule in a game in 1951 between the Bears and the Rams. It should have happened after Bears.
Williams, wait a minute. Let's go to Chris. I believe he was in Chris was in the stands.
Yes.
It's so great when we all go to the same thing at the same time. I mean, Williams doesn't care. He's talking to stats. He doesn't care anything.
But
the three
also,
of us were on the
let's
same
get
page,
there was
Chris,
weather
you know
involved.
that.
It was a big, muddy mess of a field. It was kind of hard to distinguish who was who.
I love all three of you so much.
Chris only remembers that because his oxen had so much trouble getting out of the parking lot to go home.
Yeah, it happened after Bears guard Ray Bray left the sideline to make a tackle. He left the sideline to make a tackle. Who does that? Who does that?
Williams, you are the absolute best.
Williams he didn't even listen. He's like, all right, get over it, and I'm going to go.
That was great, though. I loved every second of that. I was all in for my Washington Commandos. I hope that they are not that flash in the pan team and that they put together a few more pieces next year and that we have Jaden Daniels in our life. That dude was an absolute exciting quarterback. Eagles, Chiefs, the rematch. We'll break down more of it next week when our football handicapper Josh Williams comes back. But Josh, my final question for you is this. Are you getting sad? Is there like a little bit of welling up in your emotions there that football's over? Or are you just like, I don't care. Now I have more time to focus on college basketball?
No, it's always super sad this time of year when there's only one game left. And it just sucks. But hey, August training camp right around the corner, and we still have March Madness to go to. So I got the Super Bowl prop if I have time here.
Go ahead.
In Andy Reid's last 20 playoff games, check this out. He has given a rushing attempt to a non-running back 14 out of those 18 games. So Xavier Worthy is the rushing attempt is not up yet, but it will be. But if you want to go rushing yards over 5.5, minus 115 on FanDuel, Xavier Worthy has had a carry in every single non-divisional game this year. So I feel like Reed was like, these division games, they know each other pretty well. We're not going to try to mix it up. Every single non-divisional game, Xavier Worthy has had a carry this year. And if you're scared on the over 5.5, there's also a different bet on ESPN Bet. KC players over 4.5 players to record a rushing attempt. That's minus 130. You got Hunt, you got Pacheco. You know Mahomes is running. Xavier Worthy right there. So, and possibly P. Ryan and whoever else. So that's minus 130. But
every time
FanDuel,
they say P. Ryan, every time they
minus
say
115 over 5.5 Xavier Worthy rushing yards.
It's like Grady Dick for the Toronto Raptors. Every time they say Grady Dick, I can't help myself and I start laughing like an elementary school kid. And P. Ryan every time I'm like, he said P. Ryan. That's me, though. I'm the juvenile one on this podcast. Williams is the football handicapper. He can find bets for you like that, but he can't find a thing on the Royal Rumble. That's all right. That's fine. Me, Jimmy, and Chris will be the ones to talk about the Royal Rumble for you here real soon. Williams, you'll be back next week. You'll have a few more props for the people. We'll break down the matchup between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Eagles, Chiefs 2. Will it be as good as Rocky 2? Who knows? We'll find out soon enough. But I'll tell you what is as good as Rocky 2 when me, Chris, and Jimmy talk about some basketball.
Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. Rod, Chris, and myself, Jimmy, are here. We are ready to go. I have a question for the two of you. How much has Terry Rozier earned in his career as an NBA player? Chris,
$172
King,
million.
What do you think? $172 million. Rod.
I'm going to play Price is Right and go under that, but I'm going to give you an actual number. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of figuring here. So he had an initial rookie scale contract from the Celtics. He was either a late first-round pick or an early second-round pick. So I'm going to say that put him at like $18 million maybe for his first contract. Then he went to Charlotte for a big deal. How big was that deal? I'm going to say $132 million.
Oh, Rod. You read, don't you? $133 million.
Oh, I had zero idea. I had not looked up any
Seriously?
of that.
You hadn't looked at it?
All of that was me off the fly. I had not looked up anything about Terry Rozier this week. I had zero idea you were going to ask about him. But it's funny because the Heat have made a resurgence, and you know whose name you don't hear? And I think that's where you're going, right, Jimmy?
Yeah. Listen. this whole gambling thing is so strange. There's one game in 2023 that a lot of people bet bad on him, and he got hurt in the game. Like, why would you do this for any reason? I guess if someone, there could be some, illegal stuff, like they're threatening people or whatever. But like, what's the point in doing this? You know what I mean?
I only could think this, right? Like, we don't understand the pay structure that these guys have, right? And we also don't understand, like, and again, don't take this as I'm trying to make an excuse for anybody, but if we're trying to understand, right? He's got maybe some assets tied up, you know what I mean? He's got a lot of payments that got to go out for things, and he only gets the check once a month, maybe, right? And so doing some gambling on the side, boom, a quick 10 G's come in, you know what I mean? And like, we got some walking around money. I don't know. That can be the only thing that I could possibly think how you would tell yourself you want to get involved with something like this, as you stated, Jim, when your bank account is already as large as
I'm going to tell you what's going on here, all right? This is nothing more than the American dream. All of us try, and Rod, you know this better than anybody, all of us try to have side hustles where we can get some extra cash on the side. And it doesn't matter where we're at or what station in life we have, we're always trying to have that side hustle. Maybe to get that passive income, right? If he's in charge of this ring, he's not really having to do anything. He's just essentially the investor. Maybe this is a type of life he knows better than the Wall Street type of life, where he's not going to be able to invest in Wall Street wisely.
That's such a good point. I love that, Chris, because we forget how much of their life was spent not as an NBA player, right? And so much of how you react to situations is made up by your life's experience. And when your life's experience in the NBA is so much short, but that's all we know, that's a good juxtaposition you made there.
Yeah, it is. And who knows better than if you're going to miss a shot than yourself? So I think that's pretty good. That's a really good strategy there. So, yeah, I'm not going to make this. So anyway, that's one of the big stories coming out. Obviously, the trade deadline's coming up, but we do have to talk about the reigning, defending. I'm up 32 games on Chris. I'm up 16 on Rod. Yes, 16 games separates all of us. I am the champion continually of the Wins League.
If my Celtics would kick it back into gear, Jimmy, maybe I'd catch up to you a little bit.
That's
right?
where I'm going. Let's talk Rockets Celtics. Oh my goodness, what a game that was. My daughter Izzy and I were just enthralled in that game. By the way, having two kids that love basketball, football, everything, and really get pumped about it's amazing. It really is kind of cool. Sometimes I have to say you need to calm down a little bit.
Jealous,
Jimmy Thompson.
Jam. I'm jealous.
33
I love
points,
the
got the game winner.
I love the Vanimal,
Yes.
but he'd much rather tell me about Minecraft than he'd ever sit down and watch sports. So I'd love that you value that.
I thought that was a great ending that I didn't see coming. I didn't think Amen Thompson was taking that last shot, but he did, and he got it in. What a great win for the Rockets there.
No,
Chris,
I
did you happen to see that game?
But we talked about this, I think, maybe one of the last times I was on here, where Boston's starting to have a little bit of issue with these home games. And it's not typical Boston basketball to lose at home, and they're starting to do a little bit too much.
Rod, I know that you watch a lot more Celtics than we do, but I did notice something. Kristaps Porzingis was on a bender. He was really going strong at it. And then Jaylen Brown, all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, I'm taking the shot. I don't even care. Are you worried about that at all? Because that really kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit. He just kind of took a random shot out of nowhere.
Let me go ahead and clarify your last statement there, Jimmy, because it is basically 100% factual, except for the part where you said out of nowhere he decided he wasn't passing it. Jaylen Brown basically decides that at all times, okay? He really does. If you watch the Celtics, this man is not interested in passing. He's just not. He really is not. If you watch Jaylen Brown handle the basketball, which, by the way, he can't even do that well, nobody has more just giveaways in the NBA than this man trying to drive to the middle of the lane. But no one more than Jaylen Brown only passes when he absolutely has to. If Jaylen Brown is given the ball on the other side of the half-court line with, like, let's say 21 seconds left, you can bet your last dollar he's going to dribble up to somewhere on the wing. He's going to do a couple of moves. He's going to try to get to the elbow. It's not going to work. He's going to look and see somebody that he could pass to, and he's still going to try to do a shot fake and weasel in for another shot. Jaylen Brown is not interested in passing ever.
All right,
he is
Jimmy,
my least
real
favorite
quick,
Celtic.
Based on everything that you heard Rod just say, how many assists per game do you think Jaylen Brown has?
He's got 4 turnovers, so negative
4.8.
No, I would say 3 assists a game,
which is respectable in the NBA if you're not a point guard, which is still kind of crazy because everything Rod said is true. That's how that man plays. I think it shows how much talent there is in Boston when he does have to give it up and fling it to somebody they can actually shoot the ball and make a shot.
And dribble. Someone that can actually dribble. That's more my issue. Just someone that can actually dribble. Jaylen, we all know that you're going to go right to the lane. The other team knows you're going to go right to the lane. They're actually getting to the point, Jim, where you can watch it sometimes. When he goes on these drives in the middle of the lane, they will sag off of him and playing the ricochet that they know the ball's going to come off of his own shin. It happens all the time. I'm not worried about the Celtics, though.
Yeah, you shouldn't be worried about the Celtics. Chris, your teams. You know, you're not doing too bad. How are you feeling about your Kings? De'Aaron Fox wants out.
You know, that surprised me a little bit, but that's the NBA we live in, I guess. So, like, it's bound to happen with every team at least once in a while. So that's unfortunate. But I got to say, they've had that new coach bounce, as you guys like to say, especially since Mike Brown left. I really was shocked about that quick turnaround for them. That being said, they probably should have made my hierarchy more recently, but I just kind of missed them. But like the West is still tough, right? They're still fighting in that play-in game. They got to keep that momentum going so that they can actually get in that top 6 of the playoffs.
What happened to the beam? Like, have we had a beam check in? Is it just gathering dust somewhere? Does it still get lighted up? It just seems like a long time ago that we were lighting the beam, Jimmy. And also, just to be charitable to Mike Brown didn't leave Sacramento. They unceremoniously fired him. For those,
the beam's still there, Rod. You just stopped being a fan of the Kings for some reason, so you stopped paying attention.
I stopped paying attention because they stopped playing relevant. I can speak relevant basketball.
Sure. Speaking of relevant basketball, we've got some all-star teams that are pretty stacked here. Let's talk about them a little bit. The starters for the West is Steph. Well, it's the West, but then there's 3. I don't even know why they do this anymore. What's going on? Steph Curry, Shea, LeBron, Kevin Durant, and Jokic are your starters. We knew that. Ant Edwards, James Harden, Anthony Davis, Jaren Jackson Jr., Victor Wembanyama, Alperen Sengun, and Jalen Williams for the West. Rod, who jumps out at you as a surprise for the team?
Well, Jimmy, can we go ahead and before we get into some all-star talk, I wanted to let you finish off the West there, but can we actually just hit my music real quick? Because I got a Rod Damnation that is related to the all-star game, and you actually just sort of said it, so we might as well just do it now.
Okay. Hey, let's talk. Rod Damnation of the week.
Okay, my Rod Damnation is pretty simple this week. All right, we're going to keep it semi-short, sweet, and to the point here. Jimmy, you kind of made mention of it there. They just announced the All-Star starters and reserves for the East and the West, and that is the last time that either of those things will be relevant. They have absolutely, completely desecrated the All-Star game even more. Starters don't matter. Reserves don't matter. East doesn't matter. West doesn't matter. You don't even have to currently be playing in the NBA to play in the NBA All-Star game. You don't have to currently be in the NBA to be in the slam dunk contest. We have just completely desecrated all that is NBA All-Star. It is time to just take it out into the pasture and put it out of its misery. I hate having to say this. I grew up as a kid who would sometime plan his birthday parties around NBA All-Star. Jimmy, I'm fairly certain you attended multiple of those birthday parties around All-Star game in February. It has been an event. Vince Carter, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, Larry Bird, all of these different events over the years that have been part of All-Star Weekend. It is long gone and dead and buried. The players don't care. And then the league went and made it even worse by having this weird 4, 6, 8 man thing. It's just, I I'm so mad about the All-Star game, Jimmy. I apologize for interrupting you. The West roster, we will
I just
continue.
wanted to say Evan Mobley made the All-Star team. He's my boy, so I'm very excited about that. And Pascal Siakam, Chris.
Yeah,
All-Star. Let's
no,
go.
I'm happy, right? He's a solid top tier NBA player. I do think maybe there was a couple other guys in the East. I think as much as Rod hates him, I think Trae Young's had an all-star caliber season so far. But I'm happy that a Pacers.
I don't disagree with you. You're taking shots at me, but I don't disagree with you. Actually, I think Trae Young should be on the All-Star team. I think
Kyrie?
it's kind of crazy in the East that we basically have your East All-Star team are the Bucks, the Knicks, the Cavs, and the Celtics.
Well, if they are the best teams, you're not going to put any Wizards on there who still are 6 wins. They are losing, and they are losing very well. All right, we are going to get to the Kings Hardwood hierarchy here in a second, but we have a trade deadline coming up, and this time next week, the trade deadline will be over. So I want to ask you, gentlemen, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say Jimmy Butler will be a Phoenix Sun this time next week? What comes to your mind?
Not surprised that they're trying to throw something else against the wall to see if it sticks.
Rod.
It will be part of one of the craziest transactions in NBA history. That's what we will be saying about it. I think we're going to see essentially a 5-team, 4-team type trade where LaVine, Ingram, Butler, Beal, all these guys we've been hearing thrown around all year long that everybody kind of says don't really want, but their teams want to get rid of. We're just going to play musical chairs in some kind of weird scenario, and all these guys are going to get shipped around where Butler's going to end up where he wants to, Beal's going to end up where he wants to, and somebody's going to end up with a boatload of draft picks, and somebody we didn't even think was going to be traded is going to be caught up in the wash of this 4 or 5-team deal, Jim. That's my thought on Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I think my word would be desperate for the Suns on that one, because at some point you just need to stop. Stop doing this and think about the long-term future of your organization.
Wait a minute, Jimmy, hold on a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, is going to stop, right? And Matt Ishbia made all of his money in what industry before he came to the NBA, Jim? Mortgages. He was a mortgage guy. Did a lot of mortgages.
Yeah.
Did that industry show a lot of restraint when it came time to double and triple down and just keep going? And did they show a lot of restraint?
Yeah. Sure. Right. Yeah, they kept people first.
Yeah.
In the
They
mortgage
didn't
industry.
just keep saying, no, let's just chop it up into smaller pieces and sell it off to somebody else. They didn't do that.
No, not at all.
And the Suns didn't literally just take their 31 unprotected draft pick and chop it up into 3 smaller boxes. They literally didn't just do that.
You might be right there. You might be right. We had about 2 years of no Miles Turner trade speculation, so congratulations to that. But now he's back, and it's to the Lakers again. Some things just get rehashed. If I said Miles Turner was a Laker next week, Chris, what would you say?
Wow. I guess I missed that. I don't know. I'm who would we get back? Like, that's what I want to know. I mean, I'm interested. I love Miles Turner, right? Like, he's been a Pacer for a long time, so like he's a fan favorite. But like, I'm interested. What do we get back? If it's
Ladies and gentlemen, your new starting center for your Indiana Pacers, Jackson Hayes.
Ooh.
Welcome into Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Oh, can I interest you in a Rui Hachimura and a couple of maybe a 2029 top 5 protected?
Can I interest you in a Temu version of Pascal Siakam?
Yeah, no, I don't think I like either one of those. Like, I mean, the Pacers aren't selling, right? The Pacers. The Pacers may show up a little bit later on this podcast, all right? Because I'm just saying.
Okay.
Oh, no, you're not. You're not going to go that far with them, are you?
They're the gesture. De'Aaron Fox will be a San Antonio Spur this time next week, Rod.
I say he'll be a San Antonio Spur if the Spurs want him to be a San Antonio Spur. That's how I look at it. San Antonio and Oklahoma City have so much draft capital and so many young players that they could trade if they really wanted to, that if either one of those teams said, we want this guy, he's theirs. Put Houston there as well. If either of those 3 teams decide that they want De'Aaron Fox, they're going to do it. And I'll tell you something right now, Jim. Oklahoma City, They're not doing it. I don't think Houston is doing it. So it's really going to come down to whether Wembanyama wants to put enough pressure on the Spurs to say, hey, I want to get in the playoffs this year. Because if they get De'Aaron Fox this year, they're definitely at least getting in the play-in. If they don't, they might still only be in the running to capture the flag. And I don't know which way the Spurs brass would rather go, to be honest with you.
I mean, they're 3 games away from that 10th spot, right? That play-in game. So they got to decide right now. And if I'm Victor, I'm saying, let's try to win. I mean, as a fan, that's what I want. I don't want us to be going back into the draft again. I want us in the playoffs. I want us to have a chance to play big boy games, right? I want to see my team making moves trying to win today. So, yeah, if I'm a Spurs fan and I'm Victor, I'm saying let's go for it.
Okay. And then finally, Zach LaVine will be a Chicago Bull this time next week. What would you say?
I'm not surprised. I mean, how many times have we heard his name leaving Chicago? I mean, this will be the 3rd season in a row, right? Yeah. So,
Rod,
I think the Bulls are ready to lose. I think they're going to probably, because here's the thing with the Bulls, right? The Bulls never do conventional wisdom. And where conventional wisdom is swung now is that LaVine is actually pretty good. And what the heck do the Bulls need anything for? So just keep Zach LaVine. So this is why the Bulls are going to sell Zach LaVine for pennies on the dollar probably at this point. So I honestly do. What I said about Butler is I think that's what's going to happen, Jim. The trade deadline is going to go off as a bit of a dud. We're not going to see a lot of stuff. But I think these all teams that are sort of desperate to move their guys are just going to finally come together at one point. Hey, the only way we're going to make this happen is if we all try to scratch each other's back. So I just think we're going to see like a big snake transaction.
Okay. And now it is time for the Kings Hardwood Hierarchy.
Speaking of snake transactions.
All right, so I'm giving it to OKC. They are the king this week. All right. Yeah, I know,
they just got beat by
Cleveland
the Warriors.
has not done well in their last 10 games. I know I haven't been here for a couple weeks, so I have to take the totality of that 2-week time period. So it's not a real word.
Yeah, they definitely
Jimmy,
can't be up there. They
don't
got beat by the Rockets
try to
twice.
spell it. Anyways, it's my hierarchy, Rod. It's Oklahoma City. They're the king.
Don't try to spell it. All right, who's the queen?
Can I say one thing about Oklahoma City? Can we say Ewing theory with Chet Holmgren? Can we say that? Can we say that? I mean, the guy
played
didn't
enough games in his
play
career?
much his rookie year at all. Last year he was pretty good. This year not playing much.
I mean, that's a
I don't know.
A worry with all these types of young unicorn players we have right now, right? We don't want to see them catch that injury bug, and hopefully that's not the case for them. But, I mean, they're talented enough to keep winning right now, so they're the king. I'm making Houston the queen. They're 8-2. They've won 4 in a row.
Let's go.
That was a big win in Boston.
Okay.
Can I do another mini rant right here in the hierarchy, Jim? Am I allowed to do another mini rant here in the hierarchy? I'm still so mad about the whole Ime Udoka Celtics situation. Like, honestly, really, I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing? How good could the Celtics maybe be if this guy never would have been out of a job in Boston? Because we have no idea. And again, I'm not advocating for we have to know. But what I am saying is if whatever he did wasn't bad enough to disqualify him from getting another job in the same very league, what was the problem in Boston, really? Honestly, because look at what this guy is doing with the talent he has down in Houston. Imagine what he might be doing with this Celtics team right now, Jimmy, whose only problem seems to be they don't have a fire lit under their ass. And I'll tell you something, Ime Udoka seems pretty damn intense to me. It just makes me so mad, Jim.
Yeah. We got to start talking about him as like one of the best coaches ever. Although so is Joe Mazzulla, who is his winning percentage is amazing. So
stop. Joe's overblown. Joe's overblown.
All right,
he watches the town too often. Figure out some way to get
there were
Jaylen
two
Brown
teams
to pass the ball.
that
Joe.
I have been thinking about putting here, right? And they're two teams that have been making a lot of strides, not only climbing the standings but improving the team overall play as well. The Pacers were one of these teams, right, that I wanted to put here. That's why they're getting mentioned, because I have to give them a shout out for them making strides. They're a half game behind Milwaukee now. They're 5th in the East. Let's go Pacers. I'm going to give it to the Knicks. All right. Knicks have been playing outstanding basketball as late. This cat situation seems to be working out with him and Brunson. So, hey, I got to give it up to him.
I thought you were about to double cat us right there. I thought you were about to go this cat. I thought you were about to double cat us right there. Now, Jimmy, can I ask one more question? Does the fact that Tyrese Halliburton not being elected to the All-Star team, does that bolster my call of him being a fake superstar a few weeks ago? Can I claim victory on that?
No.
I don't know.
He's a superstar.
Seems like I might be able to claim victory if the guy can't even make the All-Star team. Might be a fake superstar. Might be a guy who just calls himself a superstar.
Pascal Siakam is also a really good superstar, so, it's okay.
But how many people call Pascal Siakam the superstar of the Pacers? Not many. But how many people call Tyrese Halliburton the Pacer star, the star of the Midwest? He came to save the Pacers.
Matt, I don't think I ever heard anybody Tyrese came to save the Pacers.
I'm sorry, Dax. I'm sorry. They say it all the time. Dax, I'm sorry. I really am.
It's they. They say things. A lot of people are saying a lot of they saying things. I don't know who they are, just for the record.
Listen,
Chris,
the most powerful man in this country listens to they all the time, Jimmy. Maybe you should start doing it too.
I was being a little more subtle than that, but yes. Okay,
in the Wizard Palace of Ineptitude this week, all right, is a team that wins fewer games at home than they do on the road by a multitude of 2.5. And this is the Utah Jazz. They have won 3 games at home, but somehow have won 7 on the road. I'm sorry, Utah. As bad as some of these other teams have performed lately, this ineptitude cannot keep going unnoticed. You have lost 7 in a row, 1 of your last 10. It's pretty bad in Utah. I really don't like it. I really hate the fact that I was becoming a fan of your organization over the last couple of years, and this is how you treat me. So I have to give you a place in the Palace of Ineptitude this week.
If you would only listen to me, Chris, I told you at the beginning of the year the Jazz had zero interest in winning basketball
Rod, I don't
games,
listen to you.
They have a huge interest in gaining the rights to Cooper Flag.
He's not wrong.
The Utah Jazz are extremely interested in Cooper Flag. Okay? And the other thing I want to point out is more people should listen to this podcast, all right? Because you get gold like what just happened a few minutes ago, where I made a crack about the current president. And the next thing that Chris literally said was Palace of Ineptitude in Washington.
And with that, you have been listening to Balls and Brew on the Morgan O's
Goodbye, Internet
Network. Welcome to the We Know Podcast, part of the Morgan O's Podcasting Network. In the ring with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris. And gentlemen, it is time. The Royal Rumble has finally come to Indianapolis. The 3 of us are going. We are going to have a blast at the Rumble. Chris King, I hear that this is your first ever live
the
WWE
closest to a
event.
WWE event I have been to was a WCW event before they got on TV.
Okay, so I want a couple things here. You need to remember this. There are no commentators. You will not hear commentators. People get so confused when there's nothing going on. You are going to watch a wrestling match.
I might
and the
be
fans
able
will
to
be
hear the
cheering
commentators,
and doing
Jimmy.
it. Okay.
I have
I'm
floor
sorry.
seat, Jimmy.
Where are you sitting? You have floor seats. Okay, then. Well, why don't you do the show then, Chris? Go
No,
right
I'm
ahead.
excited, right? I'm just excited. Right? So
I would be too if I was on the floor. Okay, so floor seats, yes. So
I'm
watch
thinking
out for
about
signs.
making
That's
one.
all I'm going to tell you. I love you, Chris. You're amazing. The Royal Rumble match is going to be a terrific event. It's a 4-match show.
What are you doing?
So
We can't just skip over that. What's your sign gonna say?
Oh, do you?
What's your sign, Chris?
I haven't decided who I'm going to say it about, but somebody is going to be eating corn the wrong way. No.
It's got to be Logan Paul, right?
No, I might go full heel and say Cody. Maybe Punk.
Whoa.
There's more than corn in Indiana.
No, Cody may eat corn the long way. I'm just saying.
Corn the wrong way. Cody's a Purdue fan. How about that?
He's
Shout out to our West Lafayette listeners.
He definitely eats corn the wrong way then if he is a Purdue fan.
That's true. We are going to have a ton of commentary from the Royal Rumble. Definitely, if you haven't followed us on TikTok, apparently you're the only one because there's a ton of people that do. We're going to have a lot of live stuff. My son Jackson is going to be streaming or doing all the entrances. We're going to have a blast. I can't wait, Rod.
Jackson Jamriska, incredibly excited to see 60 different entrances. Sure, some of them will be abbreviated, but I love me an entrance, and I will get to see 60 different ones there. Jimmy, your independent wrestling bone will be scratched big time when DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns have a 2 out of 3 falls match. Jimmy, this is wild. Do you think people are going to be buying this?
Well, it depends when it is. If it's first, yes, people will buy it. If it's second after the women's match, I think people will buy it. If it's anywhere else, people are going to be exhausted, and it's going to be a huge bathroom break, unfortunately, because that will be the only time you can go anywhere.
There's zero chance they start with it, though. They're starting with the Women's Rumble, or they're starting with the Rumble. Come on, there's zero chance they start with this match, right?
I would either think it's the Women's Rumble or the ladder match. It's one of the two. I think it's going to be the Women's Rumble, and I think the tag team match will be second, ladder match third, and fourth will be the men's.
Yeah, and then that's why everybody will just, like you said, take a complete break during part of the 2 out of 3 falls match after the Women's Rumble.
So we have DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns. I am going to pick DIY to win on one of the biggest stages of them all. Not the biggest, maybe second biggest. And I think they're going to get the win here. Chris King.
I'm going to stay a fan. I'm rooting for Motor City Machine Guns. I want them to get the belts back. Let's go.
Of course you are. They're your tag team of the year.
It'll be a terrific match for sure. Rod.
I'll go into DIY. They desperately need a dastardly heel tag team. Judgment Day is going away. JD McDonough almost killed himself on the last episode of Raw. So DIY is going to win at the Royal Rumble because that is a way to solidify them even more.
So and Rod, you read my mind there because I wanted to talk about
circle back
McDonough before we go on
and talk about bring up the fact that he's talking about DIY being heels. And I think he's really excited because it's going to be his boys, Yes Boy, Pretty Deadly, interfering in that ladder match, causing DIY to win.
Ooh. A 2 out of 3 fall match for this one, not a ladder match, if you remember. Yeah. No, you're fine. You're good. I know, you're old. So I did not watch the JD McDonough match. By the way, Netflix rewinding, unbelievable. And are you kidding me? Netflix, excellent work, WWE, love it.
I also love how you can just bump up and hit play from the beginning immediately the minute you start rewinding it. That's cool, too.
Yeah, that's really cool. So anyway, Jackson and I are going to watch the match because I heard he got hurt and I wanted to see what happened. And I just started it like in the middle because he was like running around and everything like that. Really, I'm like, okay, let me just watch it. And then it ends. I'm like, wait, when did he get hurt and almost die? So I ran all the way back to the beginning. Only a punctured lung.
Yeah.
Only a couple of broken ribs. He got up pretty quick. That's crazy that he did all that stuff. And obviously completely dangerous. It's not his fault. It's the officials in WWE. They should have stopped it right away.
Here's the thing. I don't often get to say I know how he was feeling, but I've had a punctured lung, and it feels an awful lot like a heart attack. So JD McDonough basically felt like he was having a heart attack for the rest of that match while he was standing there on the ropes. And you're absolutely right. You could see the one official go over, and he's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And like you could see JD McDonough tell him, "I'm fine." And you're right, Jim. It's totally on the official at that point to be like, "I don't care what you're saying. This thing is over."
Yeah, that's crazy there. Let's go to the the WWE Championship match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. I am extremely excited for this match. It's my favorite wrestler and another one of my favorite wrestlers. I love Cody Rhodes as well. I can't wait.
Oh, I got
Chris,
Kevin
who you
Owens
got winning this one.
retaining as the Universal WWE Champion.
Retaining.
Dude.
You got a cough out
We
of
miss
Jimmy.
you when you're not here. Well, it's the Rod, who you got?
I got Kevin Owens as well. I just have this sneaky feeling that we're gonna do this whole kind of weird 4 dudes are gonna be claiming the main event spot at WrestleMania. That just kind of seems like the story that they're gonna tell. And so I think that they can be helped tell that story by Kevin Owens winning the belt versus Cody versus Rody. He should just be
Rody Codes,
Codes.
everybody. Yeah, he's the Tecmo version.
There's definitely not going to happen. Cody's going to win because he's of course going to win. But I'm with Chris. I want to see Kevin Owens win.
I think Kevin Owens is going to win. I really do.
Really?
One of two things is going to happen. Sami Zayn's either going to kick Kevin Owens or he's going to kick Cody Rhodes. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, you're right. They have been setting us up for the accidental Heluvas.
Yeah, so there's definitely a shot that he accidentally kicks Kevin Owens, and that's your WrestleMania match between those two. To have a real, they've had a singles match at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship, I believe, a while ago, but so that could be your matchup at Mania. But I'm going Kevin Owens too, because why not? So for the Rumble matches, I want to know who's going to win and who would you like to see maybe as a surprise entrant or someone we haven't seen in a while, something like that. Okay, so I'll go first just because I haven't prepped you guys on that one. We're going to go to the women's. And I think my favorite wrestler is going to win this one for sure on the women's side. I think Charlotte Flair is going to win the Royal Rumble. Definitely my favorite. Always has been, always will be. Love me some Charlotte Flair. I think she's going to win the Royal Rumble and be a multi-time winner for sure. What do you think, Rod? Rod is not happy.
All this time I bring up Charlotte Flair and you two guys just basically yell at me and you're like, what are you doing? Rod, you're such a fanboy. And then we get the vignettes. We get documented that she's coming back for the Women's Royal Rumble. And then you completely steal all of my thunder. You say every last friggin' thing that I'm going to say. You say it. When you yell at me for even bringing up that she's going to come back. You don't do this. You don't throw it to me for the setup for all the work that I did, where number 27 is the number you want to draw for the Rumble, because 7 times people who have drawn number 27 won the Royal Rumble.
I thought that was men's only you did.
It's all together, Jimmy. You don't want number 26. Nobody
sorry.
who's ever drawn
That's
number 26 has ever won the Royal Rumble. All right. You don't want to be Chelsea Green, who is the female that has spent the shortest amount of time in the Royal Rumble match. All right. You'd love to beat Rhea Ripley's record of being in the Royal Rumble match for over an hour. Okay. And yes, Jimmy, we have 9 multiple winners of the Royal Rumble on the men's side, and we have yet to have anyone win 2 times on the female side. But we have nothing but legends, all Hall of Famers. When you start talking about women's Rumble winners, Asuka, Lynch, Belair, Ripley, Bayley, Rousey. Okay. So Charlotte Flair will solidify herself as the greatest of all time, a 14-time champion, a 2-time Rumble winner, and she will be sitting right there as the crowning jewel for someone to try to take down at WrestleMania. Book your women's main event at WrestleMania, because the Queen is back. And damn you for stealing my thunder, Jimmy.
I'm going to double down. I think Charlotte Flair draws number 26 and wins the Royal Rumble. How about that one? Because she's so good. And then the person I would like to see come back is Asuka. I would love to see Asuka come back and wreak some havoc in the Rumble. Chris King.
I think I would be shocked, or I guess I'm more excited to do, and I'm going to kind of piggyback off kind of what you guys said, and this is a legend and could become a 2-time winner of the Rumble, and that's the man, Becky Lynch.
Okay.
And I think that would be great, especially if Rod's girl Charlotte comes back And then you have really two legends going at it to see who's legendary. Maybe Becky gets the 2-time Rumble winner, but then Charlotte's able to still become the 14-time champion past that. I mean, I don't know. I just give me Becky Lynch.
Okay, and who would you like to see come back? Anyone
No,
specific?
I mean, not really. The only other person that I would be really rooting for that I don't think has a chance in winning is Natalya.
Oh, okay.
You love Natalya. Natalia's like your Vita Vea. The way Williams loves Vita Vea for the Buccaneers and always talks about him when Tampa Bay comes up. You love Natalya. Whenever you get the chance to talk up Natalya, you do it.
Natalya is your Vita Vea. And Rod, you have Charlotte winning. Who do you want to see come back?
Well, see, I mean, Charlotte's my answer for all those. I mean, but we know Charlotte's coming back, right? And I want to see Charlotte win, and I think Charlotte's going to win. But Chris is wrong about his Becky Lynch thing, right? It's Tiffy time, okay? Charlotte's going to win the Royal Rumble, and she's going to say, hey, Tiffy, there's only one blonde around here, and we're going to have Charlotte v. Tiffy at WrestleMania, and it's going to be a huge deal. So that's that. Who will make her surprise return in the Royal Rumble match will be Michelle McCool. That's who will make a surprise return in the Royal Rumble match. Mrs. Taker herself will pop out for a little while. That's the surprise women's entrance there, Jimmy. And your final four will be Bianca Belair.
Yes.
Charlotte Flair.
Yes.
Bayley.
You okay?
Naomi.
And Naomi. Okay. I think Jade Cargill's going to throw Bianca Belair out before
so
that.
you think Jade's coming back for the Rumble then? You didn't say that before.
Yeah, well, she's not the one I'm looking forward to the most. I'm looking forward to Asuka coming back the most.
Look at you.
All
Asuka.
right, so Rod, since I was so mean, since I was a horrible host, I am definitely going to go to Chris King to see who he wants to have the Royal Rumble
men's winner for me.
And who's coming back.
Only one person I really want to see win this is John Cena.
Oh, okay. Wow, the biggest Drew McIntyre fan.
Drew has his own agenda that he'll be able to accomplish whether or not he is successful in the Rumble. Right? He's more interested in getting those vendettas out of the way, so then he can then focus on his belts. But anyways, no, give me John Cena. All right, I'm a fan who didn't get to see the John Cena era when he was in his prime, on top of the world, right? I have only witnessed the more recent run of Cena where we last saw him essentially beaten and dejected in the center of the ring after that solo match. All right. I am desperate for them to give me a real John Cena like I've heard about and I've only seen in replays. I want to see that. Give me John Cena to win. That's who I want. Hornswoggle.
Okay. And then anybody you want to see come back? Oh, wow. All right. Hornswoggle. All right, Rod. Who you got?
So I really do think that this may be one of the most star-studded Royal Rumbles ever. I even thought to myself, has there ever been a time where the Royal Rumble was won by two people? And yes, there was. Jimmy, can you answer off the top of your head the time the Royal Rumble was won by two people?
We had the John Cena and Batista. They were both thrown over, but they continued that one. We had the Lex Luger and Yokozuna, I guess.
Luger is involved, but it's not Yokozuna.
Oh, was it Bret Hart?
It was.
Yeah,
it was the best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever will be. And the heir apparent to Hulk Hogan tied for the Royal Rumble win back in 1994. Wouldn't it be cool to see two Royal Rumble winners this year? Because I can see a case for John Cena winning. All right. I've heard a lot of different cases for John Cena winning. It makes sense to me. I, though, have been saying on this podcast for months, and I will continue to say the Royal Rumble is going to be won by Phil. I'm sorry, everybody else for playing. Roman Reigns, I know you think you're a big star, but unfortunately, Phil is the big star, okay? Other wrestlers come down to cut promos, and the crowd starts chanting Phil's name, okay? Mm-hmm. I don't understand why, but it is what it is. People frigging love the Chicago-made Punk. I don't get it. He's got gray hair. He's not as good as he once was. I'll give him that grace, but he's absolutely winning the Rumble. When they flexed their muscle and had Raw be 3 hours and 9 minutes or whatever it was on Monday, just so Phil could come back out and deign us with his presence again to talk to Cody Rhodes, that absolutely sealed it. So Phil's going to win. He's going to be in the Final Four with Roman Reigns, and he's going to be in the Final Four with John Cena, and he's going to be in the Final Four with Solo Sikoa.
Ooh, I like that. Does Cena then throw Solo out? Okay,
yes.
I like that. Get a little retribution there. Okay.
Yes.
So I want to see
the return, Jimmy. The return.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
The return. Yep. It's going to take the return a long while, Jimmy, because it's going to go from London to Paris and Tokyo. It's going to come back from America to Scotland, Canada, and Mexico, because I believe, Jimmy, that we will say his name and he will appear in his blue shirt and his bleached hair and all of his wonderfulness. Joe Hendry will be in the Royal Rumble.
I really hope he is. I think he's supposed to be on the Jericho cruise, maybe. I don't know, but hopefully
just like Jordan Grace is supposed to be in Australia.
Yeah. It's actually Dallas, I think, is where she's going to see her mother. But yes. Listen, that would be amazing. I would love to see Joe Hendry. I also think it'd be kind of cool, and I would love to see Dolph Ziggler come back. They do have a partnership now with TNA.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Nemeth coming in. Go. We could see Dolph Ziggler come back. I think that'd be kind of cool. He'd get a really big reaction. Matt Hardy could also come back.
Super kicker in WWE history. Doesn't get the credit for it, but he pulls off the super kick better than the Usos, but not quite as good as our guy Shawn Michaels.
Okay, so I picked Kevin Owens to win the world the championship. Okay, WWE championship. So if Kevin Owens wins the championship, then CM Punk is going to win the Royal Rumble. Just because that's I think what's going to happen. If Cody Rhodes wins the championship, the ladder match, The Rock will win the Royal Rumble.
Okay. All right. So Jimmy, I love that you brought up The Rock. Here's how the only way that Rock wins the Rumble, in my opinion. Okay. We have Roman and Phil in the end. And in your scenario, Cody can be there fine, right? Looks like somebody wins. Boom. Final boss music hits. He's number 31 because he can make the rules and he's on the board.
Yeah, because he was too nice last time to Cody.
Exactly.
Way too nice.
And if he's coming back, he's coming back as a heel again. But here's the thing, Jimmy. I don't think he's wrestling at WrestleMania. I think he's deking all of us.
Yeah, he may not be wrestling at WrestleMania. But why not? We can dream, can't we?
Chris, what do you say to that, though? Rock comes back as 31.
No, I think he's still, if he does anything, it's still going to be involved in tribal business. I don't think he'll get involved in anything in the Rumble. I think he may be involved in tribal business come WrestleMania.
All right, so before we leave here, what merch are you wearing? What merch are you buying? I'll go first. I'm doing the KO hoodie. I think Jackson's got his OTC hoodie going on. He's really excited about that. I have made it very clear he is not allowed to spear anyone at school, and he just has a little smile on his face because I didn't say anything about a Superman punch. Izzy is going to – she has a Bianca Belair sweatshirt she's going to wear. And then I think all of us I love the Royal Rumble apparel they have going on now. So I think we're going to get some Royal Rumble hoodies or something like that. Rod.
I saw the new Charlotte Flair limited edition t-shirt drops for her return at the Rumble. I like those. I will be wearing the Cena hoodie, I believe. I think I will be rocking the old John Cena hoodie. It is comfortable. It stands out in the crowd. But I have my old Seth Rollins hat, so he's not going to be far from my heart because that's, of course, who I want to win the Royal Rumble. But you could actually convince me Seth Rollins is closer to stepping away from the WWE for a number of months than he is to a huge main event prize anytime soon. So I'll have that. And the merch I'll be looking to get will be, I don't know, we're going to go by WrestleCon for a little bit on Saturday, Jimmy. So I'm going to be looking for kind of some weird, quirky, old school kind of stuff there, right? But maybe something with the lovely male model Joe Hendry.
Ooh, interesting. Chris King, you got any merch you're gonna wear? You're gonna buy?
Well, I will probably stick with my typical IU/Star Wars get up, and so probably have some of that on. But I do plan on getting at least some sort of merch at the Rumble, at least to commemorate me being there.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I can't wait to get your reaction. Lucas Oil is going to be jam-packed. I mean, it's a legit if it's not a sellout, it's very close. There's going to be about 5,000 people there. Going to be a great time. I can't wait to see it. And the good news is Rod has got his Never Give Up towel on.
Let's go, Jimmy. Should I bring the Never Give Up towel? Wave it.
I think you need to wave it. I think you need to wave it for sure. And with that, you've been listening to the Royal Rumble edition of the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the Morgan Knows Podcasting Network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod.
Can't see me.
Goodbye, Nick.
Yeah.